Good afternoon, friends and comrades. As promised the other day, I will be doing a video on what's been going on lately in Latin America, in particular, Venezuela. There has been, in the past couple months, an anti corruption campaign led by the United Socialist Party of Venezuela, that is the ruling party in Caracas, headed by Nicolas Maduro. Camila Fabre de Saab, who is the wife of political prisoner Ambassador Alex Saab, held on a trumped up charge in Miami, has publicly supported the efforts of the Maduro administration to take on corruption, including from those that infiltrated his party. Some ask if these efforts are authentic. I think there are. I think they were part of a investigation already underway. Venezuela is showing to the world that it can implement and prosecute those who commit corruption. Now, one of her former partners of Alex Saab has been indicted by the judicial branch with the support of Maduro's government. And because of that fact, people try to twist it and say, oh, Maduro's investigating Alex Saab. Oh, Alex Saab's corrupt. Here's the thing. You don't start a case with no evidence and look for the evidence. Okay, and that's what happened with Alex Saab. The United States had no evidence. It still has no evidence that he was ever corrupt. The United States wanted to make an example of Alex Saab for defying U.S. sanctions successfully as a diplomat, as a businessman. And they were grabbing at straws to try to get evidence of this. And when Maduro does something right, which is implement this prosecution of those that are corrupt within Venezuelan society, which are not just those that are call themselves socialists, any corrupt person, Maduro takes it very seriously. When these efforts should be applauded by everyone, instead they use it to try to defame Alex Saab further. So the case of Alex Saab is a political case. It's not about evidence. It's not about wrongdoing on Alex Saab's part. It's about making an example out of him and using the courts to do that. And there's already a term that's been invented that perfectly applies to the Saab case, and that's lawfare, which is a combination between the word warfare and the law. Using the law, okay, so under the guise of the law, not prosecuting, but persecuting people, making examples out of them. This is what empires do, and the United States is no exception. So besides Venezuela, it's also important to note in my father's country, Peru, protests have been ongoing. Massacres have happened against indigenous people, largely indigenous people, who are advocating for the return of the democratically, legitimately elected President Pedro Castillo, who is a leftist school teacher, union leader, who was ousted in the U.S.-backed coup. Now the Boluarte regime, which is a far-right regime, Boluarte infiltrated Castillo circles. She became a vice president for a short time. She insinuated herself into the presidency. She's a dictator with U.S. backing. And that has stopped the left push in Latin America, what happened in Peru, which hopefully will soon be reversed. Well, I just wanted to speak briefly, and those are the two countries I wanted to touch on for now in Latin America. I'll be doing more videos going more in depth in the coming days. Thanks, friends and comrades.